And I'm here today to talk about walls. The wall the Germans have built in Berlin, and the walls we build around ourselves. But more importantly, I'm here today to talk about how to tear those walls down. Because we all know the feeling of a wall. We all know the feeling of limitations, the feeling that we could be doing more with our life. Some call it obstacles, barriers, mental blocks, disconnections, separations, limitations. I call them walls. 106 people were killed trying to escape, hundreds of thousands in prison, and our head of state said officially that the Berlin Wall will be there for the next 100 years. And I became somehow a wall expert. For 28 long years, I have lived with one of the most formidable walls ever built. During my whole childhood, the clock on our East German TV channel had dots between the numbers. The West German clock had dashes. And of course, during the Cold War, it was forbidden for people from the East to watch TV channels from the West. But as a child, I could only answer honestly, the clock on our TV had dashes. The next thing I knew, I was standing before my fearful parents being asked why I publicly said that we are watching forbidden TV channels from West Germany. I was 5. How was I supposed to know? And it was like that throughout my whole life. The danger and the punishment of the Stasi was everywhere. When I wore the wrong T-shirt with an American flag on it, or a shopping bag with a Western logo. Or once when I was a teenager, I was hitchhiking to Dresden and accepted a lift in a West German car. I was picked up by the police and put in prison for 2 days. This wall was always there. And I was there this very day when the Berlin Wall was torn down. The people in the East finally woke up. If you had been there on this incredible night, the night when Berlin suddenly exploded from captivity, then you would have felt as I did. Emotions you would never forget for a lifetime. I was there. It was unbelievable. We tore down that wall. Why am I talking to you here in New York about the Berlin Wall 20 years after it was torn down? Because it taught us that any wall can be torn down, no matter how impossible it seems. And we all have walls, no matter where we live. I mean personal boundaries that stop us achieving everything that we want to achieve, that prevent our development. But the good news is that any wall can be torn down, and your freedom to move forward can be reclaimed. What kind of wall do you have around you? Is there a job wall, a money wall, a relationship wall, an emotional wall, or a leave me alone wall? Or do you feel walled in by your partner? These are the big questions we must ask. What is your wall made of? How did it get built? What does it prevent you from doing? Which habits does it force you to repeat? The East Germans, standing before that wall this historic night, they knew they could have been arrested or even shot for any number of reasons. But their desire for change was stronger than any threat or action the policeman could make. That's how it begins. Your desire for change has to be stronger than any desire for certainty or comfort you have. In my program, we work through 6 steps. Desire is the first and most important. And then we look for direction. Do your daily actions contribute to your wall or to your freedom? And then you need to make a decision for change. You need defiance against your old habits, determination to pursue your targets, and finally, you must embrace your full potential, your deliverance. This is why the Berlin Wall gave me something back. Once you realize your wall can be torn down, anything becomes possible. And here I am in New York. You cannot imagine what it means to me being on this stage today. And these days, no one can stop me from talking. My wall of silence is down. And when Thomas tore down his failure wall, he became the head of his department. And Maria is running her own company as a successful lawyer now. And look at Berlin now. This once so walled-in and dependent city is a wonderful city, a symbol of freedom and change now. If you can take that first step, that step of embracing your desire for change, that step towards tearing down your walls, then what can you change? Whatever you want.